The difference between good and great property management. As we move forward from Section 17, where we define the services offered in a property management business, we now focus on what truly brings those services to life: communication and responsiveness. Because here's the truth: you can have the best systems, the best policies, and the best contracts in place, but if you fail to communicate effectively, your entire operation begins to break down. Communication is not just a soft skill in property management. It is a risk management tool, a compliance tool, and a relationship tool all in one. This section ties directly back to everything we've covered: broker supervision, tenant relations, accounting transparency, and legal compliance. Why communication matters in property management. Effective communication is essential to maintaining trust with both property owners and tenants. Think about it this way: property management sits in the middle of two parties, owners and tenants, who often have competing expectations. Your ability to communicate clearly, consistently, and professionally determines whether situations are resolved or escalate into complaints. For example, if a tenant reports a maintenance issue and receives no response, frustration builds quickly. On the other hand, even if the repair takes time, clear communication can prevent that frustration from turning into a formal complaint. Responsiveness. Timing is everything. Communication is not just about what you say, it's about how quickly you say it. Responsiveness is one of the most important performance indicators in property management. For example, a delayed response to a leaking water heater could result in property damage, tenant dissatisfaction, and potential liability. In contrast, a prompt response, even if it's just acknowledging the issue, can demonstrate professionalism and control. This ties directly back to your duty under AAC R4-28-1101 to exercise reasonable care and diligence in your actions. Setting expectations, the key to preventing problems. One of the most effective ways to improve communication is to set clear expectations up front. This connects directly back to Section 15, developing a plan, and your policies and procedures. You should clearly communicate response times, maintenance procedures, rent collection timelines, emergency protocols. For example, if tenants know that maintenance requests are handled within 24 hours, they are less likely to become frustrated when an issue arises. Clear expectations reduce misunderstandings, and misunderstandings are one of the leading causes of complaints. Technology. Enhancing communication and efficiency. Modern property management relies heavily on technology to improve communication and streamline operations. Today's top property management companies use tools such as online payment portals, maintenance request systems, property management software, communication platforms. These tools allow tenants to submit maintenance requests, track progress, and receive updates in real time. For example, instead of a tenant calling multiple times about a repair, they can submit a request online and receive automated updates. This creates transparency, reduces workload, and improves tenant satisfaction. Centralized systems. Keeping everything organized technology also helps centralize your operations. Property management software can integrate accounting, tenant communication, lease tracking, maintenance coordination. For example, a system like AppFolio or Buildium allows you to manage multiple properties while keeping all records organized and accessible. This ties directly back to Section 11, accounting and record-keeping requirements under Arizona law. Communication with owners, transparency builds. Trust owners expect to be informed about what is happening with their property. This includes financial updates, maintenance issues, tenant concerns. For example, an owner in Gilbert should not be surprised by a large repair expense. They should be informed in advance based on the terms of the PMEA. Providing regular updates builds trust and strengthens long-term relationships. Communication with tenants. Retention starts. Here, tenant communication is equally important. Happy tenants are more likely to renew leases, take care of the property, and pay rent on time. For example, responding quickly to tenant concerns and treating them with respect can significantly reduce turnover. This ties directly back to Section 6, Landlord-Tenant Act, and your obligations to maintain habitability and proper notice procedures. Maintenance communication, where most issues arise. One of the most common breakdowns in communication happens during maintenance issues. For example, a tenant reports a repair. The vendor is delayed, the owner is slow to approve the cost. If communication is not maintained at each step, frustration builds on all sides. A strong property manager keeps everyone informed throughout the process. Documentation. If it's not written, it didn't happen. Communication must also be documented. This is critical for compliance and protection. For example, documenting maintenance requests, approvals, and communications can protect you in the event of a dispute or complaint. This ties directly back to broker record-keeping requirements under ARS, paragraph 32.2151.01, local knowledge, communicating with insight. Understanding your local market improves your communication. For example, knowing rental trends in Phoenix or tenant expectations in Scottsdale allows you to provide better guidance to owners and tenants. This positions you as a professional, not just a middleman. Building relationships. The long-term advantage. Strong communication builds relationships, and relationships build business. Owners who trust you will keep their properties with you. Tenants who feel respected are more likely to stay longer and care for the property. This creates stability, reduces turnover, and increases profitability. How this section connects to the entire course. This section ties everything together from an operational standpoint. You've learned the laws, built the systems, defined your services, and structured your business. Now you understand how communication is the thread that connects it all. Because without communication, even the best systems will fail. Online discussion. Why is communication considered a risk management tool in property management? Answer: because clear and timely communication prevents misunderstandings, disputes, and potential legal issues. How does technology improve communication in property management? Answer: it streamlines processes, provides real-time updates, and creates transparency for tenants and owners. Why is documenting communication important? Answer: it provides a record that protects the property manager in case of disputes or complaints.